Hey y'all, it's Emma from The Rice Life, and I guess we're going to talk about becoming debt-free in 2016. So, yeah, I don't even know where to start, you guys. So, excuse me, we just finished eating dinner, so, but I guess I can tell you guys why we decided to become debt-free. I feel like we're just jumping right into it, but hey, I've got 3 kids that'll probably interrupt any second, but let's see. We decided to become debt-free because basically we're tired of paying bills, okay? But seriously, I kind of feel like there's no greater gift that you can give yourself, like financially. There's no greater gift you can give yourself financially, or even your children in the future, then there's no greater gift than being debt-free. And what I mean by that is, we just really had a long talk like a month ago or so, and we just knew this would be one of our resolutions. And we knew even going into the home building process and all that, that we want to have any debt that we had squared away. And so, but actually we've been talking about this for over a year, but we just really put it into action within the past month or so. And actually have like definitive dates and just like a schedule for paying off debt, so to speak, which we'd never had before. But anyway, we just really sat down and like I said, we have been talking about the home building process. If y'all remember when I started doing like semi-daily vlogs last year, last January, I think my first video was like January 1st of last year. And so I think even then we were talking about like the home building process and all that, and that was exactly a year ago. And the more we thought about it and talked about it, we were just like, you know what, we just want to go into this thing like debt free. And that way, I mean, that's just what it was, because we were just talking about our, our married lives. We've always had a mortgage. We've had a mortgage for the past 6 years. We've always had car payments. We've always had like a payment. And so, we just thought that this would be our season of just paying off everything and then just kind of starting fresh. So the home building process and like looking into that and stuff is what really made us want to become debt free. And yeah, because we just don't want a lot of bills, y'all, okay? So we feel like we said, there's no greater gift that you can give your children or yourself than being debt free and just not having to stress out about bills. Not even if you don't stress, just not having to have your hard-earned money go toward a bill every month. Like, it's time for savings. It's time to get a really good cushion. And so that's how we're feeling right now. And yeah, so luckily I feel like we're off to a good start. I don't know how this is even gonna go, but I feel like we're off to a good start because we were blessed enough so that John did not have school loans. Like, we both went to college. And so luckily for us, a lot of people are paying off school loans, that kind of thing right now. And so John isn't having school loans. I went to undergrad like on a full scholarship, so I don't have any school loans for undergrad, but I do have student loans for grad school, which are being paid off. So that's another bill that we've added on top of the bills that we already have. And so we just decided, what, this year's gonna be a year of paying off debt and just having, just a clean slate. And then that way we could just start the home building process and just start savings in general and not have to worry about a payment. So yeah, so how are we doing that? It's, y'all, it just sounds like, oh, it's so easy to pay off debt. It is really not. It's really not that easy. I mean, it's not easy if you don't have a plan. And that's what we had to do. Like, we would always say, oh, we're gonna be out of debt in 2 years and 1 year. And I felt we could have already done it if we just had a plan. It was kind of like we were kind of scared to tackle it. But I feel like this year we're just ready to tackle it. We're excited to tackle it. And that's just because we can see the end result and we see our end goal, which we've never had an end goal for our debt before. So it's really nice to have that plan and to kind of see the steps we're taking to get out of it. But so we decided to become debt free, and one way we're doing that is just by cutting back on spending, like cutting back on things in general. And I know it just seems like, you just swipe your card for everything and that's just everyday life. But when we really sat down, like did our budget every month, we both realized that we do a lot of extra spending. And it's not like we go out and get new TVs or new cars or new, big extravagant purchases. It's like, my little $20 here at Target, my $15 here at Target. When I turn around at the end of the week, that's like almost $200, And so basically right now, every penny that we make has a place. Like, it's not like there's no extra money, there's no free money floating around, there's no extra in our minds right now. Like, whatever we have that will be left over, it's either going into savings or it's going to pay off a bill that we already have. Like, we don't feel like, oh, since we're caught up for the month on bills, then we have extra spending money. No, like, that's the mindset we had to get out of, because that's what we've been doing a lot. We've been, making a little more, and then we'll say, oh, we got an extra so-and-so in the bank, and, it's, oh, let's go out to eat, let's do this and that. We could have paid a bill off even more. So our idea is to pay off our bills, like when we do have extra, pay them off, and then, or not pay them off, and pay them up, and then pay them off some more. So, so yeah, so that's the plan. So that's another thing. Like I said, y'all, when you have extra money, like, it's not extra money. Just think about it honestly not being yours. Think about paying off your debt with it. That way you won't want to go out to eat with it, or buy a new purse or something random with it. No money that you make right now should be extra money if you're in debt. And so that's the mindset that we had to take on. And so another thing that we did was just make a spreadsheet of our debt. Like a lot of times we say, oh, we owe this, we owe that. And John, he's a great budgeter, honestly. And a lot of times money and that kind of thing like overwhelms me and stresses me out. So I would let John deal with it. But you cannot tackle your debt alone. You cannot have bills coming in two people's names and only have one person paying them off or dealing with them. So I kind of had to put my big girl panties on, like my mama says, and actually sit down and do a spreadsheet and budget with him. And when I did that too, I would also see where the money was going, so I would know what to spend and what not to spend. So that helped a lot too. But like I said, just making a spreadsheet of all of our debt has really been helping us, like, you know, eat away at it kind of, because when we would just have a bill come in the mail, we would just pay it off and that would just be that. But having, like I said, a spreadsheet and seeing how much income you have every month and how much debt you have every month and being able to pay it off, then it was just a lot more, things are just flowing a lot more that way. And then we know exactly where our money is going and exactly what's going into savings. So that's that. And let's see what else we're doing to get out of debt this year. We're cutting back on our spending. I think that's the main thing, like cutting back on our spending, like just not spending frivolously, or even not frivolously. Just think any extra amount you have is not yours. It goes toward your debt. So that's the mindset we had to take. But we're cutting back on spending, cutting back on eating out a lot more. Like our goal this year is to have a date night, you know, every once a month. But I mean, we would do date nights and then we do eating out a couple times a week. And then, you know, it was just like the eating out stuff kind of added up. So we're just cutting back in general. Like we're really sitting down and saying, is this something that we need to do? And will this get us to our end goal? And if the answer is no, then we don't need to do it. So we're still going to treat ourselves, but we're also going to be mindful of what we're spending and think about the grand scheme in the long run. So that's that. So yeah, so I guess like I even know with me, like the idea of being debt free was just daunting, and it seemed, honestly, it was stressing me out because it was just too much planning. It just seemed like too much work. But I think like being able to just not have a bill every month for, you know, for various things, like not being able to, well, being able not to have bills, being able to set our kids up for a really good future, because there's nothing worse than, you know, not nothing worse, but I mean, you want to be obviously financially stable, but you want to be able to do more things for your kids, do wonderful things for your kids, and you don't want to have the stress of a car payment or this and that. So I know with me, there are a lot of times, like, you know, I got my van right before I had Kylan. So my van, I've had a little over 2 years, and I found myself looking at new cars and that kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? Like, my car is paid off, y'all. My car is paid off this month. And so that was a big thing for us, like, you know, just having that car paid off. And as soon as I realized that it was almost done being paid off, my first thought was, oh, I'm gonna upgrade. I'm like, nope. That's not, you know, that's not what I need to do, because we know we're trying to get out of debt. So you may have to ride your car around, like, and there's nothing wrong with my van. I may have to ride it around for a few more years, or ride around till the wheels fall off, just to, you know, stay out of debt. And so our plan too is to actually start a car fund. So whatever I do want to upgrade in the future, then we'll have like a really big down payment, or we'll just have you know, the money in cash. And so that's the thing too. A lot of things now, we're kind of feeling like if we can't pay for it in cash, then we don't need it. We have one credit card, and that credit card will be only for gas and that kind of thing, and it will be paid off at the end of every month. So when we say debt free, it's not like we're not gonna have a credit card or anything, but in my mind, the credit card would be just like a debit card. It's just kind of like still building our credit or whatever. So but even with the credit card, if we can't pay it off in full every month, then we're just not gonna have it, you know. That's the mindset we're having. And so yeah, but like I said, I wanted a new van already, and John was like, for what? And so a lot of times, you know, you have to sacrifice, you know, having the newest model of something just to, you know, get to where you want to be, guys. And so like I said, even with us doing the whole home building thing this year, we just didn't want to have car, because John's car we paid off this year too. We didn't want to have 2 car payments. We didn't want to have, you know, just a lot of little frivolous, like miscellaneous random bills. Like we cut out our cable like 2 years, almost 3 years ago. So we've actually started the process years ago without even realizing it. We just kind of realized, we kind of just looked at our lives and said, we don't use this, we don't use that. And so we don't have cable, like we have internet obviously, but we just cut out cable. We cut out a lot of little things that we could live without in order to live better in the future. And so so yeah, so John's car will be paid off. Like I said, I'm paying all my student loans, but I feel like that'll be eaten away. You know, we'll be done with that by the end of the year. And like I said, we're just blessed that John didn't have school loans and stuff. So like I said, this may not apply, like our situation doesn't apply to everybody's, but I mean, debt is debt. Like whether you have $50,000 or $100,000 or $50, like debt is debt. Like if you have, I mean, debt is taxing for anybody, and it's kind of stressful for anybody. So even without an amount put to it, it's just something you just want to get rid of and be done with. But yeah, so we're really excited about this journey. I wanted to make like a series, but I'm not really sure how to even do it, because like we don't want to discuss finances that much on our channel. Like that's not, you know, I'm not gonna say, oh, we make X amount a month and or X amount a year, we have this amount of debt. But it's kind of like I felt like I gave kind of key points about the things that we're gonna be doing this year, like just cutting back on spending in general, like becoming minimalist in every sense of the word. And yeah, we're just really practicing minimalism, and I think doing that for a year, even though it's probably gonna suck, but practicing minimalistic ideals will get us to our goal, and we'll be able to live a little better, you know, live the way we want to live, you know, even in the next year, because we have a lot of big plans, and we're kind of just want to live like low-key this year, so that way we can save our money and do really fun things like in the years to come. So living debt-free and becoming debt-free is really just about the sacrifice in the moment, and then thinking about the long term and where you see yourself. And I really have to, when I adopted that mindset, then I'm just like, oh, I can live without this, I can live without that, because I see the end result. And so yeah, so we're really excited. I don't even know if I'll make this a series. I'm not sure how I'm not sure how I will incorporate this into the vlogs or the videos, but I would just encourage everyone to become debt-free in 2016. And that doesn't mean all your debt has to be cleared away. Just pick one bill at a time, one, you know, one loan at a time, one whatever at a time, to just pay down. And I think that, you know, it'll relieve a lot of stress, because honestly, a lot of stress in marriage and in life in general is just bills. Like we all get stressed out with finances, and so just to live a healthier, stress-free life, I think we all should encourage one another to be debt-free, and you know, just think about the long term and the effects that our debt will have on our lives, and then think about ways now that we can just kind of, you know, eat away at that. And yeah, so like I said, y'all, we're becoming minimalist, and we're just like a minimalist in planning. Like that's what we've been doing. We've just been planning to pay things off, and we have timelines, like we have deadlines for things. And when we do that, it kind of makes it so that like we're kind of holding ourselves accountable a lot more, because like we have timelines, deadlines, and we have like I said, when you do that, you don't adopt the idea of, oh, I have extra money. Like when you have a deadline to pay off something, then you feel like every bit of that money has to go toward that bill. And so that's the mindset we have right now, because we do plan to build this year. Like we said that last year. I feel like we all talk about our home building like every couple months, but last January we said we want to help, we like build our house, and then we even looked into it, and we thought we'd start the process like by now. But the more we talked about it, we were like, let's just go into this thing debt free and just, you know, with a clean slate and ready to go. And so I'm so glad that John's pretty much like, you know, let's just wait to build. That way we don't have, you know, this house and then 2 car payments and student loans and blah blah. Like we'll go in a lot more ready and a lot more able to get exactly what we want, and not have to shortchange ourselves, because we will have the upper hand. And so I think that's what it is too. When you're debt free, you get to have a say so. And so we're really excited about that. So I don't know what kind of journey this will be. It was just something that I thought I'd talk about, because when I made a Facebook status saying debt free 2016, like I got a great response from it. And so I think a lot of people feel like it's something that's unattainable, like it's something that stresses them out, overwhelms them. And even when I made that status and declared that I would be debt-free in 2016, I was still a little nervous. Like it's scary, but I think if you just can see your end result, like if you have a game plan, you can just envision the end result and envision yourself not only getting into anything and not stressed out, then I think it'll be really, I think it'll be a lot easier to achieve than we assume. So, all right, y'all, this is Emerald from Mars Life, and we plan to be debt-free in 2016. So let me know some ways that you're planning to become debt-free, because I need all the help I can get. We have, like I said, we have our game plan, and we know little things we're doing, but I'm sure we could do more. And so y'all just let me know if you are debt-free, what you've done to become debt-free, or if you're on the same journey as me, and you're comfortable sharing that, then let me know. So yeah, so we will see y'all in our next video. All right, bye y'all.
Like